Let's stay with the severe flooding down in the Western Cape. We're going to keep moving around. Several roads closed. We heard about that earlier. We were with Kevin Brunt at Sir Lowry's Pass. Let's go back down to the Western Cape. Ayesha Ismail, hello to you. Give me a sense of where you are, wherever you are. I cannot see anything behind you.
Well, I've just returned back to the office here in Zonnebloem because we tried to go on the N2 into Bot River, into the Theewaterskloof, but because the river burst its banks and because the road was then compromised, we were not able to pass through. At the same time, we were without network for more than 3 hours. But in the meantime, during that time, we turned around and then went to Grabo, went into some of the informal settlements, and on our way there, we saw severe flooding, we saw infrastructure damage as a result of the weather, and of course we saw huge trees being uprooted, laying across the road. But what happened was, Gareth, is that I did manage to get in contact with the municipal manager of the Theewaterskloof, and he was so kind to actually come out to the city to come and talk to us about the devastation in the areas across the Theewaterskloof. Wilfred, Solomons, Johannes, thank you so much for joining us. How many areas fall under the Theewaterskloof municipality, and what is the extent of the damage?
So good afternoon, Ayesha, and to the listeners. Yes, this Theewaterskloof municipality consists of 6 major towns from behind Salaris Pass, Grabo, Bot River, Caledon, Teslasdal, Riviersonder en Villiersdorp, as well as Great Genadendal. The intensity of the storm damage was concentrated mostly around Grabo, Caledon, and in Villiersdorp. This was the ever highest recorded weather warnings at level 9 that we've ever experienced. And according to the weather forecast models, as part of the forecasting, the greater part of saturation point and storm damages occurred within the Theewaterskloof municipality. What is done, it is the strong winds has uprooted major trees all along the national road, the N2 from Grabo, and we're busy clearing up all the time. So throughout the night, through early hours this morning, we placed our disaster response teams on high alert, and they've been working right around the clock, which did a marvelous work for our community. As you rightfully said, mostly the informal settlements have been significantly affected, in particular in Grabo, Siyas and Zela, hillside in the area, but also the areas in Villiersdorp, in the informal settlements there, that is locked in, they can't get out. All our towns, nobody can get out. The national road, the N2, has been, the breach has washed away. The Hermanus roads and all other connecting roads across all our towns are being cut off. And also we can't get there. So our local disaster response engineering crews are working in the area to assist. We've also, with the Provincial Disaster Management Centre in the district, activated the Defence Force. But unfortunately this morning they've indicated due to the strong wind conditions, they could not even deploy or airlift the aircrafts or the helicopters into the air to come and assist. So we are dependent on our ground crews to bring relief.
So what's going to happen tomorrow?
So notwithstanding that, we have been activating all our teams in our engineering crew that is pulling through with our local community organizations that is greatly came out to assist. So we're doing our best. But the most of the areas that the significant damages are the major roads that has been cut off, the cutting off the towns where nobody can get access to it. So that is the biggest concern. Mopping up operations are continuing. The water levels are still significantly high, and we hope when it stops raining that the levels will drop in order for us to reach out to the people. So what we're asking the community is to stay indoors. Do not attempt to cross rivers because there's a likelihood they will be washed away by the strong current. And in particular, we have also got the emergency service on standby, which actually last night rescued about 10 households in Grabo. And a pregnant lady and one adult person suffered a stroke because of anxiety, because the water was flushing right through their houses in the Grabo area, as many of the rivers in the towns has burst its banks and submerged many of the houses and the streets.
Now, this was a long weekend, and thankfully today was a public holiday, and so there weren't that many cars on the road. However, people who have gone on holiday for the long weekend, those wanting to leave the Western Cape, and of course those wanting to come back, they are now affected by these road closures.
That is correct. Theewaterskloof is the corridor for in and out of Cape Town and carries all the major traffic. We have also got reports that nobody can leave Hermanus, Bredasdorp and all other connecting towns. So unfortunately, people cannot move, they can't leave or come back to their homes, and including, there's other reports also from the N1 that the people can't come from the other side because roads are being closed off. We had to make an emergency intervention that to open the road on the N2 from Hermanus into Cape Town, but a few hours ago there was a big sinkhole that has occurred on Salaris Pass at the Yesu Bend, and we also had significant mudslides that came down from the mountain, so this stop and goes in place. Exercise caution, motorists and tourists, visitors should keep a close eye and contact on news alerts on our website, and in particular we also encourage the people only to contact the emergency lines only in a case of emergency, because we've also lost all telecommunications network as a result of load shedding, as the battery packs have been depleted. But we are being constantly communicating on Facebook, social media and our online community platforms that people can keep a close eye on what is happening. But the Theewaterskloof remains on high alert. We've got crews right around the clock that are working to ensure everyone's safety. We can confirm that nobody has died in our municipality as a result of the significant storm damages that has occurred.
Thank you so much for your time, and that was the municipal manager of the Theewaterskloof, Wilfred Solomons Johannes, talking to us about the extent of the damage in his area. But as he said, that emergency services are on high alert there. We also know that the emergency services are on high alert across the Western Cape.
Yeah, quite right. Ayesha Ismail, thank you very much for the latest on that as well. Just a reminder as well, I'm seeing some other areas that we've been to. It's not just Theewaterskloof as well, but I'm seeing videos regarding Franschhoek. Take a look at some of the other areas that we know about. Sir Lowry's Pass, Bredasdorp, Caledon and Dodoorns as well. So the Western Cape, the warning as it has been since yesterday going into today is that if you do not need to be outside, you don't need to be on the roads, please rather just stay at home. Keep an eye on the news, keep an eye on social media, and of course we'll bring you the latest as and when we get it out of the Western Cape.